Tiffany was breaking in vehicles in 2016. We should do background checks on individuals.
I'm a single parent of Justice right here, and thank God for Kamal. Kamal has came into our life. He has been nothing but a loving father to my child, Justice, so I love him for that. And Kamal, thank you for all the support that you have given me.
Tiffany's married boyfriend, and doesn't look to be getting a divorce anytime soon since he and his wife just refinanced their mortgage on their South Holland home in March 2023.
You put in a restaurant, event space, or if you got a banquet, a party, an event, you turning 60, you traveling, please come. Contact Tiff and Patrick.
I'm going to have my 75th at that place.
Many you get the pulling liquor license because they talk about business license, liquor license, where I am the liquor commissioner. People got an attitude. Now everybody want to talk, but they not telling you how it's hurting our people. All I'm saying is we can do better with less. And with less being, we don't need all them liquor stores and liquor establishments. We got over 40.
It's crazy too. It gets into Tiffany Henyard's boyfriend. How she got him making $100,000 a year. Don't know what type of skills he has, but he makes about $100,000 a year, courtesy of the township. And this fool is married. So she's sleeping with the married man. This is what Tiffany Henyard, the type of person she is. She deals with thugs and she sleeps with married men. Does she have good judgment? No, she doesn't. You love criminals. You love thugs to do your bidding. And you're sleeping with married men. You guys let me know. Am I being too harsh on this lady? To me, this sounds really ridiculous.
We have already shown you your tax meetings, and the mayor says something so ridiculous it's almost impossible not to respond. It's the audacity for us. She is a walking, talking contradiction to herself. We have already proven she spends taxpayer dollars on whatever she wants. But now we will open up the next chapter in the book of Henyard. This is the clip that caught our attention.
Legislative branch power, this is what they do. They nickel and dime and try to muscle the mayor into doing things for their friends and their cronies. I would never do that.
Oh, sure. Tiffany would never do that. All right, residents, as we have already shown you, your tax dollars support Tiffany's extra fun lifestyle. But now we are ready to show you what else your tax dollars pay for. Actually, we should say who they pay for. We hear this question get asked a lot. Why are people still loyal to her? Well, she not only signs their paycheck, but she is the only reason they are getting that paycheck. She creates job security to all the criminals she employs. Past, present, and future criminals, that is. Hope you are ready to be amazed. We are just stating the facts when we point out illegal activity or gross misuse of taxpayer dollars. If someone proudly associates themselves with Tiffany, they can't be surprised when their wrongdoing gets revealed too. Let's dive in. First on the chopping block is Kamal Woods, Tiffany's married boyfriend, and doesn't look to be getting a divorce anytime soon since he and his wife just refinanced their mortgage on their South Holland home in March 2023.
They got to refinance on the house.
I'm a single parent of Justice right here, and thank God for Kamal. Kamal has came into our life. He has been nothing but a loving father to my child, Justice. So
you trying to X your her other father out because he got married. But this lady is not a good person. She sent a threatening letter to Fox 32 News because she wanted for them to stop reporting bad things about her. And one of the reasons she said is because she's going through a custody battle with her so-called baby daddy. Okay. And he's married. And the lady he's married to works at the news station. So she's claiming that she coerced the news station to do a story about Tiffany. And it's like, okay, no, they did a story about you because you make the most noise. But what was I getting at? You got to be a effed up person if you trying to move. Just because your one relationship didn't work out with her father, you trying to move another man in so he could be the daddy. So you could be fake and lying and confusing the little girl. You probably lying to her, oh, that's your daddy. What kind of ghetto ass shit is that? That's your father. And the girl is probably confused. Is that all get out? You guys put it in the chat. You got to be a lousy person.
I'm a single parent of Justice right here, and thank God for Kamal. Kamal has came into our life. He has been nothing but a loving father to my child, Justice, so I love him for that. And Kamal, thank you for all the support that you have given me. So I just want.
It's really none of our business, but a public figure who associates themselves with a married man should be careful what they speak on. Everyone has skeletons in their closet, so while Kamal may be a great father figure to Justice, we hope he cleared up the child support lien he had against him from a previous relationship. Kamal receives a salary of $100,000 a year through the Dolton Township Youth Grant. We are sure this has since increased since the state decided to double the youth grant from $1 million to $2 million, even though Supervisor Henyard failed to do anything productive with the grant besides throw an embarrassing youth summit, which was nothing more than a concert for Tiffany to feel like a celebrity. Okay, we have to provide a short clip.
Is that too much? I can be the only one. Is that too much?
Why? Why are you doing that? Why are you torturing people and you trying to sing?
I just need somebody.
Yikes. Anyway, back to the point. Kamal is a business owner of a clothing store in Glenwood, Illinois. Of course, this business is not in good standing with the state. Also, one of the brands Kamal sells, possibly owns, just so happens to be one of the sponsors of the Just Ice basketball courts in Dolton. Look familiar? And that brings us to his car wash located in Dolton. It's no shock Kamal managed to get his business license renewed without any issue, unlike dozens of other businesses in town who Henyard has denied renewing licenses for. We bet a FOIA search will show he doesn't pay the $450 fee. It's also odd that we cannot find any business in the state this car wash is registered under. So what perks does this special crony of hers get? Well, we have heard on good authority Kamal doesn't pay a water bill. Since we cannot provide documentation, we will move to the next item. His business doesn't pay property taxes, is actually listed as exempt. Now anyone who owns a home or business in Dolton knows how high property taxes are. The only time a business is exempt is when it's a not-for-profit, which is not the case for this car wash. These are public records for anyone who wants to check for themselves. Hey Kamal, you should really take care of that mechanic's lien on the property. And yet, he still managed to buy another property that wasn't even advertised as being for sale. We bet he knew someone. He purchased the old animal hospital on Lincoln Avenue, Dolton for $80,000 according to the Cook County Assessor's website. He put it up for sale shortly after with a description that we suspect was written by Kamal, but proofread by Tiffany.
Highlighting all the misspelled words. So he probably did write it himself. And Tiffany probably proofread it because she can't write it either. She had a bunch of run-on sentences in that letter. Anyway.
You can pause and read it if you would like. 1 year later, Kamal sold the property for $200,000, which means he made $120,000 on the sale. Now this is where things start to include other cronies. Kamal sold the property to his car wash neighbor, a liquor store called the Emporium Beverage Depot, owned by TAC Investments. Now they did donate $8,000 to Tiffany Henyard's campaign fund just before she announced a new restaurant was going to be breaking ground at the location on Lincoln Avenue. She did this without board approval, of course. She was so excited she even made a video. Shocking, we know. Look, Kamal was even part of the groundbreaking.
You put in a restaurant, event space, or you got a banquet, a party, an event, turning 60, you traveling. Please come, contact Tim and Patrick.
I'm gonna have my 75th act.
This is some of her people, you know, and we will find out throughout this video. She has a lot of people planted in the township of Thornton and village, Dolton Village. You're bringing businesses and stuff to the community per se. But when you do that kind of stuff, when you have a smaller town and you got a bunch of small businesses, what do you say to the people? You're taking all the small business owners that probably have an event space, a liquor store, and she's going to start talking about liquor store, restaurants, and they have this, you bring this in. What does that say to the people? You just trying to put them out of business. That's why I don't think she doesn't really think. Okay, you're bringing jobs, but how many smaller businesses are you going to put out because of this 4-5 story building? That's the kind of stuff that you should be thinking about when you're a mayor. You're not trying to put the little people out of business.
I love them. I appreciate it.
Here is where the contradiction part comes into play. Not even 2 months later, Super Duper Tiff went on a long rant during a board meeting about not giving any more liquor licenses out and not supporting establishments who sell liquor or have parties.
Before he get into that, Tiffany was breaking in vehicles in 2016. We should do background checks on individuals. Is this to say she's not equipped to do the job, or she's not equipped to be in office? No, that's not what I'm saying. But is saying her character. She likes to steal. She's a thief. She went from petty thieving to big crime, criminal trespass to vehicles. And she actually got arrested. They released her the very next day. And Dolton, if you online, I don't know if you knew of this, but you elected her. Now back to our regular scheduled program.
Right. Let's watch.
Many you get the pulling liquor license, because they talk about business license, liquor license, where I am the liquor commissioner. People got an attitude. Now everybody want to talk, but they not telling you how it's hurting our people. All I'm saying is we can do better with less. And with less being, we don't need all them liquor stores and liquor establishments. We got over 40.
This is a mastermind right there. Now, you're saying, oh, liquor harms our people, which it does. I totally agree with that. 2 months ago, prior to this statement, 2 months ago, they broke ground. We just saw that. They broke ground on this grand plaza, food, events, whatever, and liquor. So you're saying that you're not going to renew these liquor license so everyone could go to that plaza or that store, shopping mall, or whatever it's supposed to be, event center, to buy liquor. She's really not smart enough to cover her trail, just like that lease. You thought people didn't have access to the information, so you make the bold move to lock people out. So she's really not a smart criminal. But as far as a good talker, she's a great talker, because she thought of a way to say, oh, we're killing our own people. We're going to shut down these liquor licenses. And everybody probably think, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. We shouldn't have that many liquor stores in our community anyway. That's a really great idea. But all the while, you broke ground on this tower to sell liquor to your own people. So are you going to give them a liquor license? How's it going to be an event place if they're not selling liquor?
Y'all know that you can go buy liquor from. How much liquor you going to drink? We can cut that. But the minute I say that, then it's, oh, she's stopping the business. No. And I will not have strip joints in Dolton. I will not have more liquor spaces in Dolton. So
back to our crony, Kamal.
I agree with what she's saying. But if it wasn't deviants behind it, this would be great. But she has some undercover stuff going on with this. Yeah, I agree that you guys probably shouldn't have no strip club, and you shouldn't have like 30 or 40, I think she said 20 or 30 liquor stores in one small area in the township. Yeah, I agree with that. But you just broke ground on the building where they're going to be selling liquor. So what are you saying here? What are we saying? And they clapping, but did they know this? Do the people of Thornton Township know that she just broke ground on this big event center where they're going to be selling liquor? Like, come on now.
We know there is probably much, much more we can tell you about, but we have a lot more to cover, so we will transition on this note. Kamal also sits on the Tiffany Cares Foundation Board of Directors, along with many other friends and cronies of the super mayor. As you may recall, the Tiffany Cares Foundation received $10,000 from Thornton Township, where Tiffany is the supervisor. Yes, the super mayor gave her own foundation $10,000 out of the township she oversees. Seems super illegal, right? We think so. But if you ask Tiffany, this is what she says about it.
Why did you and the board vote to give your foundation $10,000?
I'm the face.
You're the face.
Back to the board of directors, we're going to focus on two people, Carmen Carlisle and William Moore. Carmen Carlisle is the executive assistant to Mayor Henyard for the village of Dolton. Carmen was also conveniently appointed to fill the vacancy of Thornton Township trustee after Joyce Washington passed away in May 2023. Carmen collects a salary for both positions, of course, and Tiffany benefits from another yes vote in her favor on the township board. William Moore works full-time for the village of Dolton as the director of housing and permits. He also works in administration for Thornton Township and reports directly to Tiffany. Doesn't end there. His wife also works in administration for the township. He collects multiple paychecks along with his wife, and Tiffany has full control over the permits department since her crony Mr. Morris in charge. Now you may have noticed on the Tiffany Cares Foundation articles of incorporation that Keith Freeman is the registered agent. Just another convenient person for Tiffany to point the finger at when she goes down. Let's not forget Keith is the full-time village administrator and also works full-time at Thornton Township as Tiffany's right-hand man. I don't think we need to explain the mutual benefit of having your partner in crime next to you at both jobs. Dolton trustee Stan Brown had a new department created for him to oversee at the township. He is the director of community outreach and takes home a nice salary. His son, Stafford Brown, also works for Thornton Township in the HR department. In return, Stan votes yes to everything his supermayor asks of him for the village of Dolton. Jerry Jones is a Thornton Township trustee.
Like, how many people she got in office? Like, she got everybody. This is not it. I mean, she got a lot of people. Jerry Jones ain't even her no kin to her. You know, it's just Jerry Jones is somebody that she could count on. He's the director of the water department. That's probably why they ain't paying the bills. Now, for actually the water department, they haven't paid the water bill in years. Matter of fact, the city of Chicago had to sue them. So in Tiffany's defense, she inherited that problem. Anywho, moving forward.
Was recently given a full-time job at the village of Dolton as the director of the water department. Jerry's daughter, Jasmine Jones, has also secured full-time employment with Thornton Township. His son.
If you notice the pattern here, they are collecting two salaries. That's the pattern. He's the Thornton Township trustee. He's the water man, director of the water department. How can you fulfill two jobs?
Son, Josh Jones, works for the township as well. Jerry's granddaughter, Portia Jones, works for the township too. She and Josh both work in community outreach, which is Stan Brown's department. Jerry collects two paychecks along with his family members, and Tiffany once again gets another yes man in her corner on the township board. Gloria White, who Tiffany ran for township school trustee, was also hired to work the youth grant and receives a salary at the township. The highest form of nepotism is easy to recognize when Tiffany's own last name is attached. Rosie Henyard, Tiffany's sister-in-law, is the director of youth and family services for Thornton Township. Tamika Henyard is Tiffany's cousin. She is the manager of senior services for Thornton Township. Can't forget the woman responsible for Tiffany's look. Teresia Clark Butler is Tiffany's hairstylist and also landed herself a full-time job as a Thornton Township General Assistance caseworker and outreach. And
you a caseworker and you a hairdresser. These people got like 10 jobs. They're Jamaican. They got like 9 jobs and they all sucking the money out of the township. She getting her people paid.
The honorable mentions go to Tenjanique Miller, finance director, has a nephew who works for Public Works. Stacy Carroll, superintendent of Public Works, has a cousin working in his own department. A good friend of Tiffany is Pastor Anthony Williams, has a son who works for Public Works. Andrew Holmes' girlfriend works for the village of Dolton. Terrence Alexander is Keith Freeman's best friend. and is the IT project manager for the township.
Freeman is the go-to person. When she wants to lock everybody out, that's who's doing all the locking out. He's the IT guy. He changed the locks on people's doors and all that good stuff.
Man, that was exhausting. We hope you get the point after listening to the long list of Tiffany's friends and cronies who have jobs in return for their loyalty. It's hard to believe Tiffany would ever abuse her power as mayor or supervisor by giving perks to those who support her. But it's true, folks. Quid pro quo or pay to play. Call it what you want. We call it illegal. As always, we gave you the facts.
Tiffany Henyard has a problem with nepotism and lying. She sure does. This is her baby daddy, Mr. Early Walker. Him and his wife has a, what is it called? A joint Instagram page. On this post, he says, feeling incredibly grateful for my amazing wife, Tia on TV, who surprised me with a trip to Air Ancient Baths. It was the perfect escape and much needed experience. Thank you for making my pre-birthday surprise even more special. So he's living the life. He has a well-to-do wife. She's a news anchor. I think they got a little baby too, because I seen him, I think on this joint Instagram, you know, him changing diapers. So, and they've been married for 2 years. And they got a lovely home.
Dive in. First on the chopping block is Kamal Woods.
This is her man that's married. Your baby daddy said to the hell with you, because he probably found out at a very early dealings with Tiffany. She cray. And now you trying to act like you got a perfect life and dating thugs. Kamal Woods, Tiffany's married boyfriend.
Tiffany's married boyfriend. And doesn't look to be getting a divorce anytime soon, since he and his wife just refinanced their mortgage on their South Holland home in March 2023.
I'm a single parent of Justice right here, and thank God for Kamal. Kamal has came into our life. He has been nothing but a loving father to my child, Justice, so I love him for that. And Kamal, thank you for all the support that you have given me. So,
okay, I'm going to go there, ladies. You might get mad at me. You calling this man, he's been a loving father to my daughter. But he ain't married to you. You trying to put him in that spot, and he didn't say, baby, let's get married. And now you got your 4-year-old daughter calling the strange man daddy. Y'all don't see nothing wrong with that. Come on now. This is your mayor. This is the type of decision. This is foolishness, decisions that she's making. She makes foolish decisions in her own life, and she's making foolish decisions with the city and the village and the township.
It's really none of our business, but a public figure who associates themselves with a married man should be careful what they speak on. Everyone has skeletons in their closet. So while Kamal may be a great father figure to Justice, we hope he cleared up the child support lien he had against him from a previous relationship. Kamal receives a salary of $100,000 a year through the Thornton Township Youth Grant. We are sure this has since increased since the state decided to double the youth grant from $1 million to $2 million, even though Supervisor Henyard failed to do anything productive with the grant besides throw an embarrassing youth summit, which was nothing more than a concert for Tiffany to feel like a celebrity. Okay.
We're not going to play that again. I'm not going to torture y'all again because she was singing and I was like, ooh, Lord have mercy. So this is the guy who said, hey, to the hell with you. I'm about to get a good woman in my life. And he decided to marry Tia. Her name is Tia and she's a news anchor. That's her baby daddy that she's fighting custody. And like I said, let me go back to my original statement. You got to be a piece of shit woman to move in a man Don't know if they moved in together or not. Apparently, he got 2 homes because he got a mortgage on the other home where he has a wife that's living there. But you're moving in this man that's already taken, and you calling him a father, and he's behind in child support. So he don't want to be a daddy, and you trying to make him a daddy. He got a wife over somewhere that he's taking care of. And you trying to find a man, forcing him to take you as your woman, his woman, because you gave him a job, $100,000 job that he's probably not qualified for. You guys don't see a problem with that? Literally is taking care of this man. You paying for the house note that him and his wife is staying in. And you saying he stepped in to be a great father. And he didn't ask you for your hand in marriage. They got a new baby. And maybe Tiffany is jealous, thinking, oh, my baby needs to be the it girl or whatever, I guess. Now you thinking, oh, he's going to replace his child with that child. It's probably all in her head. But all the while, he probably loved both of his children. He'll probably do anything for the children. That's why they're in a custody battle. But she's jealous, probably jealous of their relationship. He got married, have a family, and she's all out here on the street trying to convince a man to be with her and be the father for her child. And he's married. That doesn't even make any sense. He is married. And this is the lady that's the leader of the township.